welcome. My name is Lise, and I'm here at One Wellness, and I am interviewing Randi Karpenko today. She is a children's intuitive development specialist, and she has various programs to help children develop their intuition. She also is an embodiment teacher at a Montessori school here in Saskatoon. So, welcome, Randi, to the One Wellness podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Lisa.
So, do you want to tell us more about your business, what you do, and what you're passionate about?
Of course. Yes, here at One Wellness, I enjoy working with children. I have a children's intuitive development program, and what that means is if you think of our current school system, it's about developing the left brain. So it's about the black, white, the logic, the yes, no. The program that I like to do with children involves developing the right brain. So it's about the creative, the intuitive, the emotion, right? We're balancing that left and right brain. And then I also strongly work with connecting that to our heart space.
Mm.
So it's about coming back into our bodies and yeah, I've been doing it for the past 2 years. I finished my case studies 2 years
Mm.
ago, and I've been doing that part time here at One Wellness.
That's so awesome. It's so needed for kids too, especially like I have three kids and it's so hard to like figure out emotions and they're just trying to figure out their emotions too and how to like work through that. And then how did you get into this specialty and what was your journey to it?
So it's interesting because a lot of work, like my background, is working in the corporate world and doing accounting
Mm.
work.
Oh, wow.
So myself I'm very left brain, right?
Mm.
And that's been all that I've known for most of my career.
Oh.
And a couple years ago, a like-minded friend in the same industry of,
Mm.
holistic wellness, sent me a video of a school in the UK. And it was of children doing this type of work in the
Mm.
UK. And when I had watched it, the reaction that my own body had
Mm.
was just unexplainable. And so my heart just filled, and I began to research how to bring this to Canada.
Mm.
And after being on a waiting list and finishing the course, I am now one of 13 certified teachers in Canada that
Wow.
that do this class.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool. I didn't know they did it in like all other countries and stuff. And then did you take your schooling here or did you do it online?
It was online, and
Okay.
then it was two children that I did case studies with to complete
Oh,
my
that's
certificate.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us more about the features of the programs that you do and how they benefit each of the kids that go through it?
So each class, they all look similar. I switch it up a little bit just to keep the child interested,
Mm.
but it's always beginning with grounding exercises. Then we do breath work. And then I also do, the children always like this exercise. They pop out of their body. So yeah, I allow them, with a snap of my fingers, I allow them to come out of their body, and we kind of work on developing that in each class as well, which they really
Mm.
like.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
um, so that's a part of it. And then it's also each class that I work with them, they're actually blindfolded. And
Mm.
what this allows the child to do is to tap into their right
Mm.
brain. So they are now
Cool.
forced to balance their brain a little bit more. Um, yeah, and the what I really enjoy seeing, especially because I work with ages 5 to 12, and especially with the children that are entering into like the preteen years, is I enjoy seeing their confidence build,
Aw.
right? So they become more aware of their bodies. They're more open to expressing their truth, I find, because a part of
Mm.
each class as well, we call it like a story healing time.
Cool.
So they tell me a story, and of course, their story is always based on themselves and their own life experiences.
Mm.
So if a child has healing to do in a family area of their life or with school, with friends, it usually comes out in their stories that they tell.
Aw,
And
sweet.
yeah, and it's interesting because if I work with a child, usually the first class, they're a little hesitant to tell their story because you could tell that we live in a world where,
Hmm.
is this what I'm supposed to say? Is this how I'm supposed to tell the story? And by the fourth or fifth class, they're just like, blah, 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 blah,
Aw,
blah. So they stop second guessing themselves. They
yeah.
become more comfortable and allow themselves to express freely, which I love
Wow.
seeing that part.
That's so sweet. Oh, I feel like everyone needs that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
I talked too long.
no, no, this is perfect. Um, and then can you tell us more about the session? Like, you know, how do people arrive? Do the parents come into it? Like, how does that all work?
So throughout taking the course, I learned some really interesting stuff. So part of that was um, me being with a child in a space one on one allows no interference in that energetic connection.
Cool.
So if we were to have a parent come in, it does influence, right? Because if you think of child and parent, they have an attachment. There's an
Yes.
energetic attachment there, there's an emotional attachment there, and it can actually interfere with the work that I'm doing with them.
Hmm.
So I actually ask that there's no family members, especially when we're first starting off with the classes. Once they become more comfortable and more quick to get into the work that we do, then the outside energies don't influence
Hmm.
as much. So um, yeah, so I actually asked that no parent is a part of it. And we've actually heard stories, again, in my class, where, if you have a parent who isn't as much as a believer in this type of work, then it can actually really shut down
Yeah,
um,
I bet.
the child.
Yeah.
So there's awareness around that and like
Hmm.
protecting the child from that as well a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, from what I know, the parents they go into the blue room while you're having the session with the kid, the child, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful part of doing it here at One Wellness
Yeah.
is not only do I get to work with the child and we get to develop that, but it's also a time for the parent to have a little healing session of their own in the blue room. And the cost of it is amazing as well. So it benefits everybody. And yeah, very grateful to be able to do this here
Yeah.
at One Wellness.
That's so awesome. And
Mhm.
what is the cost and like what are the program, I guess, what are the lengths to that?
So how it would work is if a child slash parent signs up for the program, it's committing to 4 weeks and it's an hour per week for that 4 weeks.
Okay.
It can go up to 10 weeks depending on the child and the parent. What I like to do is because some children, they can really fall in love with the type of work and want to keep
Mm,
going. And then I would keep going up to 10 weeks potentially. And the
mm,
classes can also change depending, there's almost like an advanced version of it after the 4 weeks.
cool. Wow.
Yeah, but again, it would depend on if the child wants to continue with it and the
Yeah.
parent.
Okay. Neat. Awesome. And sorry, what was the price
Oh,
of
sorry.
those?
60 an hour. So
16.
it'd be
Okay.
60 an hour for that includes me working with the child for 45 minutes to the hour, and the parent in the blue room.
Wow. That's such a perfect program and deal as well too. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. I want to come. I wanted to too. And where are you from originally? I don't know if we
Like born and raised, I'm originally from Meadow Lake.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
love Meadow Lake. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's 3 hours north of here. Moved here when I was 17, no, sorry, I was 19 years old with my 2-year-old son.
Wow.
Yeah. And have been living in Saskatoon ever since. It's been our home.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Neat. And are most of the children that you see from the city or are they from like different places?
It's interesting. Just this past week or two, I've had people, they actually find my name on the website in the UK that's originally out of the UK.
Wow. Oh,
And there's been people from like Aberdeen and from surrounding areas just in the
hmm,
past couple weeks that have been reaching out to me.
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's really
Yeah.
cool. So you can do online sessions as well, like, or if people wanted to travel, like,
Yeah, we do online throughout the course. We did everything through Zoom, and so that included me working with child, learning how to do that
hmm.
over the computer through Zoom. So it is an option to do through the computer and other locations.
That's awesome too, because sometimes, like, especially in winter, the roads get a little hairy.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then is there anything else that you want to share about what you do?
Um, just kind of another little cool fact that I learned throughout my course
Mhm.
and that I bring into my class is when you're teaching a child, when you're working with a child, if I'm going through colors with them while they're blindfolded, for example, and let's say they get the color wrong, right? And what I've learned is to never say no to a child. It's
Hmm.
really interesting because as soon as you can watch the energetic shift in them. If they say the wrong color and I'm like, nope, they shut down.
Oh.
So they teach you to be like, oh, try again. What's another color? What else comes to mind?
Hmm.
So it's really about just like encouraging them, supporting them. And I just never became aware of that consciously until I took this course and started working with them.
Oh, that's interesting. That's such a
Yeah.
good takeaway too. I'm gonna try that with my kids.
Yeah, a little tip.
Awesome. Cool. And then where can everyone reach you? Like, how do they book with you?
My cell phone number, which I don't know if it's,
Yeah, you can
should I just say it?
share whatever you need to share.
It is 306 270 7190. Call or text me. I do work out of this space here at One Wellness. It's best to just contact me directly and I can get you set up and, figure things out with our schedules and stuff and go from there.
Awesome. That's so easy too. Just a text. That's all.
Yeah, text me.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on here. And yeah, I look forward to having you on again and working with you, collaborating with you too. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the
Yes.
next video.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.